is a major catalyst coming for Tesla in 2020 that I think is going to jump the stock up, ladies and gentlemen, 100% next year. Now, this has to do obviously with the automobile industry competing for something that is going to be a major talked about subject next year. And everyone has been way too focused on the Cybertruck and all the lineup of vehicles Tesla's bringing out. But the thing that they're not looking at is the hype train that is coming. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, you think you've heard everything you needed to hear about self-driving, but trust me, I'm going to show you the full divide today on what the street thinks and why I think if Tesla announces full autonomy somewhere in 2020, it will automatically jump the stock 100% whether regulatory issues allow it or not. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share this little thesis with you, so let's just jump right in. Welcome back, my passive income investors alike. So I want to show you why self-driving is a bigger hype train than anybody could ever possibly imagine. And it has to do with this big divide between what Wall Street thinks and what is actually going on in the Elon Musk world of the Tesla factories. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down some numbers for you to show you why this is such a hype train that could potentially double the stock in 2020. And if it's just proving that it's even possible, forget regulatory issues, guys. Most people that are working on self-driving right now don't even think it's a reality that's even a few years out. And this really helps explain why. So let's just take a quick listen.
Let's take BMW, for example. So BMW obviously is an international brand in the automotive space. We're working with BMW to help them bring autonomous cars to the market. So they're working with us to create a simulation tool chain to be able to test these autonomous vehicles. I mean, the fact is you can't release an autonomous car in the market without testing it. And the industry will tell you that it will require billions and billions of miles of road testing to validate
8 billion miles of road testing.
8 billion miles of road testing to
8 billion miles of road testing sounds like an incredible lot, but it's kind of hilarious because none of these other car companies have any cars out on the road building miles, whereas Tesla's got a fleet that has already done 1.8 billion miles of data for them. So, I mean, just think about that for a sec here, guys. Tesla's already so far out on a limb here, whereas all these other companies are using what this guy says, which is simulated data. So take a listen.
Validated. You can't do this physically driving. You have to rely on simulation, and that's where we come in. We can work with BMW to help them simulate these miles so they can drive their product to market faster.
No Tesla? No.
Well, I can't talk about all of the customers we work with, of course, but we work with a number of customers.
Okay, I'll take that non-answer as an answer. I'll take the reality of self-driving cars. How far off is it, truly?
Well, there are different levels of autonomy, and the ultimate dream is that you're sitting in your car, you know, you get in, you kick back, drink a cocktail, and the car drives you to where you need to go. Well, that we may be a number of years from there. But even as you think about that journey to get from here to there are all kinds of safety, there are all kinds of features, there's all kinds of capabilities that are being created on that route, which will benefit customers today, even as we get there over a number of years.
Appreciate you being here. All right, it's good.
So I can't get over how differently everybody on CNBC that comes on that talks about autopilot and automation and things in driving completely differ from what Elon Musk is saying and tweeting about, you know, autonomy and the fact that they actually have and are getting close to the billions of miles they need to attain self-driving. It would not shock me to see what comes. So to continue showing you the further disconnect, let me just read this that says Elon Musk promises a really truly self-driving Tesla in 2020. So let's just read through this article really quick that Wired posted here. It says Elon Musk is no stranger to bold predictions, and on Tuesday he lobbed another one at the self-driving tech doubters. The Tesla CEO said the electric car maker's full self-driving features will be completed by the end of 2019 and by the end of 2020, he added. It will be so capable you'll be able to snooze in the driver's seat while it takes you from your parking lot to wherever you're going. I think we will be future complete on full self-driving this year, meaning the car will be able to find you in the parking lot, pick you up, and take you all the way to the destination without an intervention this year, Musk said during a podcast interview with the money manager firm ARK Invest, which is a Tesla investor. I am certain of that it is not a question mark. So that's a pretty bold statement right there, guys. Today, Tesla consumers will be plunked down on an extra $5,000 at purchase can unlock their vehicle enhanced autopilot feature, which is far similar to what Musk is promising discussing the technology. The technology guides a car from highways on ramps to off ramps, including suggesting and making lane changes, navigating highway interchanges, and taking exit, according to the automaker's driver manual. But Tesla's vehicle still definitely can't drive themselves everywhere. Not on service roads, not through parking lots, and not in cities. Musk has long said they would one day. Between October 2016 and 2018, customers could even pay an extra $3,000 or so for full self-driving feature, which Tesla promised they would eventually be able to unlock via the software update. Tesla has said that every car produced since October 16 all have the hardware needed to drive itself. In January 2017, Musk said elements of that feature would start rolling out in the next 3 to 6 months. That didn't happen. It wasn't the first missed deadline. Musk repeatedly underestimated the time it would take to complete an ambitious project. Musk revised full self-driving timeline to great news for the Tesla buyers who have been waiting for the driverless feature for months, even years. Still, Musk cautioned in Tuesday's podcast interview that it will take the company another year to get to the point where its cars can completely drive themselves. People sometimes will extrapolate feature complete to mean full self-driving. It now works with 100% certainty, requiring no observation perfectly, he told ARK Investing CEO Catherine Wood and analyst Tisha Keeney in the podcast interview. This is not the case. Musk said that Tesla drivers would be able to fall asleep and wake up at their destination using self-driving by the end of 2020. Until then, drivers will have to continue to monitor the technology and be ready to take control of the wheel if something goes wrong. This is absolutely staggering, and I just want to read a few more headlines here, just a few more paragraphs, because I just can't get over this, guys. As Musk continues to make bold predictions for Tesla's self-driving technology, most of his competitors in the autonomous vehicle are moving the other way, tempting their once aggressive timeline for full self-driving cars to roll out. Waymo downplayed the launch of its driverless taxi service in Phoenix last year, revealing that the service would not be open to the general public and that a safety driver would remain behind the wheel. The technology is really, really hard, Waymo CEO John Krefsick said last year. Meanwhile, General Motors Cruise said it will roll out its own AV taxi service this year, but it has stayed basically quiet on when and where that might happen. Uber plans are in flux as it recovers from last year's testing crash that killed a woman in Arizona, and companies like Nero and Aurora are taking the slow and steady approach. Like I said, guys, it's just staggering to me what is going on within Tesla right now, and I'm so glad that I own shares in it. I think it's a really healthy time to be buying shares because I just can't get over the divide between these statements. And I want to show you why I think it could double their market cap overnight. If you guys have never owned Tesla stock or you've been thinking about buying it, I think this might be your best opportunity now that they kind of proved themselves with the Cybertruck, because we're looking at a $70 billion market cap as of today. Now, obviously, they aren't doing the sales, but you can't compare this to another car company. So just keep that in mind. This is not just a car company, ladies and gentlemen. But if we run some numbers here and we take a look at what the average Uber trip is, it's around $13.36 per trip. And this does not include the cost, right? We're still talking about gas. We're still talking about, wear and tear, oil, things like that. There's so many things that come into the cost. But if we take like the average trip on an Uber of $13 and, we times that even by 250,000 of Tesla's cars that could potentially go out and be doing driverless driving. And I know I said that the regulatory issues aren't going to matter if so long as they can announce it, because in my opinion, if they can just prove self-driving is even remotely possible, they would smoke everybody out of the water and every analyst that has had a negative opinion against them. And all of a sudden, this company is going to become a gold mine because they'll be the first ones to this game. So like I said, if we can just say there's so many cars out there on the road for Tesla right now, but let's just be super bloody conservative here and say, they're making $13 a trip, okay? On top of that, let's say they have 250,000 cars going out and doing trips with nobody in the vehicle. So no one's getting paid. The vehicle doesn't need to be fueled up, and it's just going to drive around for a while. Let's say that that's the capability. We're going to be looking at about, $3.2 million. But let's presume that every car is doing 10 trips a day. Well, then all of a sudden that becomes $32 million. Now, let's say that's going on every single day, 365 days a year. Well, all of a sudden these numbers start becoming pretty intensively staggering. It's kind of mind-blowing to see how much this can change the market cap, because we're talking about billions, $11 billion here, ladies and gentlemen, with just 250,000 vehicles, and they have a lot more than that. So I just wanted to keep this in mind coming into 2020. I think forget the cars coming out, forget the truck, forget all of that. If this becomes a reality, whether regulations allow it to become true or not, so long as they can just say, look, we have the capability, we can prove the capability, it is a reality that exists today. Now we can start working with the government. I guarantee you their market cap could double over a very short period of time. And I'm just going to say, to be conservative, come back to this video, ladies and gentlemen, next year. I'm going to probably make another video on it to see if my prediction's right. But if we come back in another year at the end of 2020, ladies and gentlemen, I'm expecting this market cap to be over $100 billion just on that news alone. So let's see what happens. I'm very fascinated to know what you guys think about my prediction in the comment section below. Really cool stuff. So stay cool, stay awesome, guys. I look forward to chatting to you real soon.